morning. Welcome to another episode of the Growth Invitation, where we talk about everything and anything growth related so that we can empower you to leap into your journey. Today, I'm so excited because I've got my amazing friends joining me today, Marijana Bosnjak. And she is actually a whole wealth of things. She is an artist, she is an ex-beauty specialist, and now going on to become a marketing specialist. And one more thing, I'm going to let her review herself. So, welcome to my webcast, Marijana.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. So today I have brought on Marijana on to tell us about her growth journey along her beauty specialist journey, and how actually she is now coming to an end of that. What does ex-beauty specialist actually mean? So Marijana, I'm going to hand over to you to tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. It's quite hard when we talk in a briefing. It's always hard when you need to say a little bit about yourself, and especially if you have quite a range of skills, as me, which I will say proudly. But I need to say I'm very grateful for that to my father, because he always raised me in a way, try as much as possible, develop as much as possible skills. And I would like to say that was, I will give immediately in the beginning one tip, which is, I believe, very important tip for having a happy life. It's to develop skills, because those are the secret for your growth. My dream was always to be an artist, and I finished an art school. I went to also art uni. But how I ended up in beauty is quite interesting, because that was practically a path of my mother.
Oh wow, so you were fulfilling the dreams of your mother?
Let's say like that. It was interesting. When I finished uni, I went to visit my mom for her holidays in her town when she was living, and she was just about to open her nail studio, where practically on the first day she just had a panic attack. And I remember I was on the beach sunbathing, enjoying my holidays, and I just received a phone call from my stepfather, and he's like, "Your mom is having a panic attack, you need to show up here immediately." Came there, my mom was pouring rivers of tears, having a panic attack, lady sitting there with her nails, looking, what's happening? What's happening? What I've done wrong? So
bless her.
It was quite an awkward situation, I believe, for a client. And my mom wasn't able to finish all the clients to the rest of the day. Second day, I came as a moral support to my mom, but she wasn't able to do it. And and just my stepfather, after 3 days, just came in and said, "Look, Marijana, I had a conversation with your mom. We just decided to close the business or just hand over to you, and you're free to take over."
3 days in?
3 days in.
Oh wow, my goodness. So you really did fall into it, literally, from the beach.
Exactly. From a holiday in sunbathing to the business.
Wow.
Maybe interesting also to mention that was a small kiosk, so it was more stand. It was just a desk with one lamp. It's now 10 years that I've been in the beauty industry, but I would like maybe just to mention that I was really proud, because the biggest achievement I achieved in the beauty industry was opening my academy, where I was able to provide qualifications for those who want to also to become a beauty therapist.
Wow, so you literally went from uni graduate, sunbathing on a beach, to having your own beauty academy. Wow! I have to give you a round of kudos to you!
Bless you.
That's totally incredible. So that must have been a growth journey like this, right? Especially at the beginning.
Exactly.
So you had all of this success, and now I'm referring you to as ex-beauty specialist. What's happened and why?
Great question. A couple of years ago, I just felt that it's time to close that door. In the beauty industry, you always grow. But one day I just felt like I can't grow anymore. I don't feel like I was here because I wanted. It was just circumstances that put me, and I just took it over as my personality. And I just felt like I need to go direction that I really wanted, that I always dream about it, which is art, which is design, and which slowly took me to the marketing.
Wow. So I'm going to ask you a very controversial question here. How old are you?
Oh, bless you. Although everybody says, like, when you're working with that many years with women, I always hear one always same sentence. Never ask women what they are.
I know, that's why it's so controversial, but I feel like we can go
exactly.
for it.
But I always said, I'd never be ashamed of your, it's just a number. So it's just a number. 34 this year.
Oh wow, that's amazing. So basically you're saying that at the age of 34, you're gonna disrupt your entire life and ditch everything that you know, that you literally got to the top of the industry, having your own academy, to starting something so completely different.
And without too much experience.
Without too much experience, okay. So how did you come about making that decision?
It took me a lot. It took me 3 years. I had 3 years of struggle, and should I do it, shouldn't I do it? The idea was here. I had, for the first time in my life, I struggled with the depression. I think the hardest was the fact the moment when I said, I really need help. I need help, I need someone to gather my thoughts and to try to help me to understand my limiting beliefs. What are my limiting beliefs? Do I really believe them? Is that something I believe, or this is something who I am? So it was a long journey, and I would like to say, everyone, if you find yourself in that situation, you're not alone. You're not alone. From my 10 years working with women, I noticed one pattern that very often with women, when we get to 30s, we find ourselves in that moment of struggle. Have we achieved enough? Is that the right path? Do I want to go? So those were my questions. Exactly.
Is this it? I mean, is this all I'm going to do?
Exactly.
Is this what it's going to be like for the rest of my life?
Is that my purpose?
Yes, exactly.
So I think those questions I started to ask myself, and then luckily, I would say I was blessed to have my partner next to me to support me, because even in the moment when I said, I think I need help, he said, you're very smart. It's not that you don't need help, but you're very smart to gather your thoughts. You just need to put them on the paper. That was one of the tips. I'm not saying, like I'm always saying, having a life coach to support you, it's like one of my top advice that I will give anyone.
Totally agree.
When I'm saying that, I'm saying because my partner finished a life coach. He was a life coach in one period of his life. He worked as a life coach, and in that way, that's why he said you don't need the help. And he was my life coach with his practically conversations and questioning and triggering me to think in a right direction. I think the worst what I've done was that I let it go in a way like I went with the flow. And I was like, oh, it's going to be what it's going to be.
And you get stuck in that
dark
hole, and you can't see the light.
And the worst, you know what is happening? Then I have one day when I will like just burst with the energy, and I will do something, and then I will go back again to my passive passive mode.
I'm sure so many of the audience out there have experienced that. I certainly have experienced that as well. And you're literally going on this roller coaster, right?
All the time.
It's become so tiring, doesn't it?
Exactly. Some of my friends back from my home country, Croatia, they will contact me and they will like, oh, you're so successful. And I'm thinking, yeah, but I don't feel like that. My partner said, it was, if you want to achieve your goal, don't think about the process. Don't think about all the actions that you need to make to get there, or all the process you need to do to get there. Just go. Go, and slowly you will the strategy will. I personally attended one of the Tony Robbins events, and I took something out from his events that I would like to share with the audience that also was very helpful for me. And I'm trying always to remember myself. So every time when I feel like I'm not able to achieve, or I'm not able to do something, or I'm doubting in my capabilities, I'm always saying to myself, don't negotiate with yourself. And that will definitely allow me to make some actions and to not create first strategy. Don't create first strategy and then go to the action. Just go, and then everything will come by itself. So that will be definitely my tip for growth. And maybe just to mention, although yes, it's scary. Like I decided to go in the marketing, like as you said before. In a 30s, when you get to the, like, it doesn't have to be 30s, it can be 40s. When you get to this certain period of your life, when you're thinking like, I don't have experience, what people will think about me, forget all about it. Forget all about it, because when you think about, look, I want to invest myself, I want to learn this, I want to know how to do this, and this is where the all beauty and all the pleasure for doing it comes.
If you are thinking about wanting to change your life, but so scared about it because you're thinking, actually, I'm too young, I'm too old, I don't have experience, I can't do this. Just think about Marijana. At the age of 34, actually, just dropping everything that she already knew, that she knew she was at the top of the game, it gets comfortable up there, right? It gets really comfortable. But for her to actually just drop everything and go, no, this is not my calling, this is not my purpose and not my path, and I want to go and do something else. And now for the grand reveal. What is the secret that you're going to become? Who are you going to become?
Thank you. So my biggest secrets, which I'm finally really revealing here with you, will be I decided to go definitely on the path as a life coach.
Hey! How are you going to get there? Do you know yet?
All of you who ever been to the beauty therapist, and if you're coming to that lady for a certain period, you develop kind of relationship.
Yeah.
And if she's really into her personal development, somehow she becomes your life coach. For the last 10 years, I've been listening to my clients coming back to me. I mean, I have so many friends that I met through beauty therapy as my career as a beauty therapist, and very often they were always saying, why don't you just start to work as a life coach? I'm paying you service as a beauty therapist, but I'm having a free therapy session. And many of the clients always said, like, you're the cause of my life change. And those,
oh, that's so beautiful. That is so beautiful.
Thank you. I think that was the thing that empowered me, and that was exactly, those words were exactly that triggered me to make some action and try to help more women. In coaching, you don't give people solutions. You trigger them to think, and then they find solution by themselves.
You give them the invitation to actually grow themselves, because until they are ready, you can't force them to grow.
Exactly,
yes.
Exactly. So very often when you're in the dark, you have small you who is just screaming, give me the solution, I can't think. So I think that was my signature through that 10 years. I never said do this, do that. I always said, it's maybe for you will be good to do this or this, and see what works for you.
Wow, that's amazing. But one thing that I'm taking away from it, that I'm learning, is actually that you're never starting from zero. You're always starting from experience. Thank you so much for coming on to my webcast, Marijana. It's been my absolute pleasure. If you ever want to get in contact with Marijana and get some of her life coaching or her marketing experience, I'm going to tag her onto my post, so you'll see that on there. Feel free to reach out to her. She'll answer any questions that you may have. So thank you very much again today, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.